Hey everyone, this is Darkast and welcome to Player 4. As you can see, we only have 3 people here. Because one of them got too drunk to make it. So that's what we're doing right now. But he got too drunk before. So anyway, over here I got Popcat.
Hello.
Thanks for that. That was riveting.
Real world delay.
Yes. And Neo Devastator.
Hi.
I'm running on net zero.
Yeah.
So well over here.
This is the game where It's the game of life.
It's the game.
Except for we don't have the board.
One day, Nick, this will all be yours.
Yes. This table?
And you can have it.
Oh,
It's
thanks.
referencing Lion King there, but yes. Just replaced your name with Simba.
Yes. The Lion King.
You're just as fucking hairy.
That's right. I am a lion. You know, I have the mane. Except for I cut it off. But it'll grow back.
The ruler of the Serengeti.
I sit upon my rock. Roar.
The Lion King went to Lion Transvestite.
Ooh.
What? Where do you get that surgery done at?
You gotta find the drunken monkey.
With the coconut.
Speaking of drunken monkey, the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, I was driving down James River, and on the side of the road is roadkill, right? Okay.
Monkey?
Hold on, let me get to it. It's roadkill on the side of the road, and this is something that you just normally see around here, like a deer, or like a squirrel, or
Child.
like a raccoon or something, right? A dead child, maybe, I don't know. But I'm coming up on it, I'm like, that's an enormous tail. What is that? Like, I get closer to it, and then I see this little face and little hands, and I'm like, that's a monkey. There's a fucking monkey on the side of the road. Dead monkey on the side of the road.
What was this at? On James River?
On James River, right before you get to, it was either right before or right after the Glenstone overpass.
Okay.
And it was just on the left shoulder. Just dead monkey. It was like kind of orange.
The circus
It was kind of an orange color. But the circus is on the other side of town.
Well,
like that
monkey can travel.
Monkey can travel, but I feel like somebody would have found said monkey.
Sure,
As
was
it
a
traveled
small
across-
man with a large penis?
That could have been it. Really bushy one.
Hasn't shaved in a while.
Yeah, but no. Like what I'm thinking is because there's houses over there, and you can have pet monkeys. I've gone to many house parties where there's been a dude with a monkey on his shoulder, like eating cookies or whatever. That's a different
We
story.
apparently need to go to these parties.
That's a different story all its own. Go grab your finger, like this little hand, and go grab your hair and pull it.
Then you
A friend-
spank that fucking
Well, this is funny. Is this one house party that I went to? A friend of mine, he had just shaved his head, and it just stubble basically. And so this monkey that's there, he's grabbing on everyone's hair and trying to pull on it, right? Because I guess monkeys do. He gets to his head since there's no hair to pull on. He's like. Just start slapping it because he can't grab it. He's getting pissed at it. The monkey's slapping the dude's head. Yeah. So that was funny. But anyway, I think what had happened is this monkey got out of his house or whatever.
Right, his cage.
And went on an adventure. And ended with probably getting hit
He
in the front of a
probably
truck or
got-
something.
ended up a really bad hood ornament.
But imagine being the guy who hit the monkey though.
Right.
Hitting a rabbit or something, that's one thing. But
Right.
you just hit a monkey.
You know
what?
what probably happened to the monkey? The monkey got out. The monkey decided it wanted to get some drugs, so it got a bunch of cocaine and heroin.
Right.
Snorted and shot up all night. Got drunk, got a hooker, ended up getting some bad shit. Next
Was it a
thing you
monkey
know,
hooker?
Overdosed. He's on the side of the highway. Yeah, monkey hooker. And now he's dead.
3 bananas, live you a long time.
That's what happened.
Now what Chinese food? Anyway, okay.
And on that note,
On that note, Nintendo.
yes, Nintendo. Let's talk about the state of Nintendo and where Nintendo is at and where Nintendo needs to go and basically what the hell is Nintendo doing? That's the real question.
They're counting their millions going down the drain, and they've
Well,
still got billions.
The
to go.
Nintendo 64, love that machine. The GameCube, it was a great machine, but the problem was, it's let's put a handle on it. It's who gives a fuck about a damn handle?
Yes.
Why put a
Nintendo
handle on it?
lunchbox.
That was the stupidest thing that could have done.
I forgot about that.
It was
It was a little.
Nintendo did that, so
So you
it
can
would
carry it
give
to
you
people's houses.
reason to carry it to your friends.
But then
Yeah.
again, we're talking about a console that was like no bigger than like 5 by
If
5.
Nintendo
right?
wanted your, if
It
Nintendo
was. I
wanted
mean,
your
like
friend
if
to
you
play,
can't hold that in your hand
Yeah.
without a handle, you should just not exist.
if Nintendo wanted you to play it with your
What do you think about the
friends,
controller?
they gave you your friends. You know, that your friend.
I
would
really
borrow.
the controller is interesting because like
It had the giant A button on it.
it did, and
Yeah.
all the other buttons are way smaller.
And it worked though. I mean, there were some good games on it, like Luigi's
the
Mansion.
The Resident Evil
The
remakes
Resident
were
Evil remakes.
fantastic.
Luigi's Mansion. That was a fun game.
Yes, Luigi's Mansion.
Mario or Metroid. Prime.
Metroid.
Those were fun.
Oh no, there were so many
Mario-
fantastic
Mario,
games on the
Sunshine.
GameCube. Mario Sunshine.
Zelda, Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess.
And
Well, I played that on the Wii. But
yeah, I did too, but still, it came
Yeah,
out for
it's-
GameCube.
it came out at the same time, right when the Wii
Right,
came out.
right,
And I
I
Cross-
got it for the Weenus.
Cross-gen.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's just so funny is you can call it the Weenus, the Wii Nintendo Entertainment
Yes,
System.
Weenus.
Weenus.
Yes.
But no,
I haven't touched my weenus in years.
Nintendo.
That's a whole different story.
You're kind of grabbing onto it right now.
I'm gonna sit over here
And
next
just-
to Steven, you know?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Monkey
like-
Boy.
Yeah, right. Nintendo, in terms of sales, had an extremely successful console. I mean, like, in terms of sales,
Yeah,
I guess you could say that the Wii sold really well. But I mean,
Well,
like,
yeah, well, the
in
Wii
terms-
sold,
well, it sold fast.
the Wii sold well, and it sold fast, mainly because of the motion controls. Motion controls was something new at the time. I mean, motion controls have been around, but I mean, it was something that was utilized and was good
well, they also marketed it a lot towards
casual gaming.
casual gaming and like families and things like that.
And then, you know, I had a Wii, and I loved it at first. and then
And
it
then-
collected dust.
And then you realize when you want to play a video game, you don't want to like flail your arms around. I just want to sit
If I
there
want carpal tunnel doing
and just
something,
not move.
yeah, if I want carpal tunnel doing something I truly enjoy, I'll be in the bathroom.
Shitty.
And it comes out. It
yes,
comes out to
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, that's what
Arthritis
it
of the
is.
rectum.
Yes. White. Need white.
that. Sphincter arthritis.
My anus.
But no, I mean Mario Sunshine or Mario Galaxy 1, 2, both fantastic, especially 2. And then there was pretty much it. I mean, that was it. Resident
there
Evil
is-
4 remake
Well,
on
the
there.
Prime was on
wasn't
GameCube,
terrible, but it
wasn't it?
wasn't
We were
great.
saying Prime was on
There-
GameCube.
3 was. No, not on GameCube. Wii.
No,
Wii.
Wii.
Wait,
1
We're
and
talking
2.
about the GameCube. I don't
1 and
know
2
why
is
I
on
brought
GameCube.
up
I don't know why you brought up that, but
Because there was no Metroid on the GameCube. There was no Metroid on the GameCube.
yeah, there
yes, there
was.
was.
Which one?
Prime 1 and
Prime
2
1
were
and
on,
2 were on
were on the GameCube.
Are you sure?
Yep,
Yes.
sure
Are
were.
you positive?
They were both on the GameCube,
Are
and
you
then the
both
third
positive?
one,
Sure?
they were.
I'm positive he's HIV positive.
Not true.
Which one didn't have
Yes.
one? Or was it N64 that didn't have a
N64
Metroid?
didn't have a Metroid game.
That's
Not that
what
I
I'm
know
thinking
of.
That's what I can think of.
But I mean, like, I think what I'm trying to get at is that, like, in terms of what everyone, you know, success-wise for Nintendo, like hardcore gaming-wise, the last successful one there was
The 64.
the SNES. I would think so, because like the N64 still didn't sell anywhere
loved
near
my-
as well as the
loved my
SNES.
N64.
Oh, I
Well,
did too. I still have it.
You got to think of it this way. The Wii outsold. The Wii is also less played than any of them.
Yeah, it wasn't. It didn't appeal to.
So you can't really look at it as
Hardcore
you
gamers,
can't look at it
that's
as total sales.
Well,
You gotta
no,
look at
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I would look at it as total GameSpot.
And the Wii U, the problem I think with the Wii U, I think one of Nintendo's biggest problems, besides,
They call it the fucking Wii U.
well, that's one problem. The thing
well, it's
is
a marketing.
marketing
nightmare.
for it has
Yeah.
been horrible because a lot of people, you know, if you watch the beginning commercials for the Wii, you would never know it was a new system.
No,
Never.
It's a peripheral.
it
mean,
looks almost the same, except it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
common people, gamers, casual gamers,
non-gamers
are not going to look at it.
Speaking of monkeys,
They're not going to look at it as a new system. They're going to look at it as more of a peripheral. like the the tablet is like a peripheral for the Wii. So like, hey, where do I get this Wii U tablet?
What's the
Well, you can't.
what's the
You can't get it
tablet?
with the system.
What's the tablet that they came out with? The U-Draw or
Yeah, you draw.
yeah,
It failed miserably.
it actually did real well at the very beginning.
They were hoping it was going to be what the Wii Fit thing did.
And it started off here, and then it was just gone. I mean, I saw it when
I think Codemasters made that, didn't they?
Whoever it was when
yeah,
it was
but did Ubisoft partnered with them on that?
Ubisoft,
Maybe.
whoever was the main people that was behind it, I can't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure
Whoever
they don't
financed
exist.
it has got to be pissed.
I don't think Codemasters exist anymore, do they?
No, Codemasters.
For some reason, I wanted to say it was THQ.
What? I think it was THQ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're not around anymore.
Yeah. It's in the
And-
game.
And I think
No longer.
that's because
Out of the game, out of the market.
EA
Yeah.
Sports. EA Sports.
It's in the
It's
game.
in the game.
What was THQ's?
Bankrupt.
Along with the
Did they not have
claim.
one?
And, I don't know. I don't know what THQ stand for.
There. I don't know.
What kind of acronym that was, I don't know.
Half-Life 3.
THQ, Half-Life 3.
We can ask our listeners to comment in the comments.
Yes. What
below.
does THQ stand for?
What does THQ stand for?
If you know, put it in the notes.
And
Put
if
it in the
it's similar to
comments.
THC, I'll take some.
Because
Similar to
apparently we
THC.
don't know. But I think the thing that Nintendo needs to do right now is, they don't have hardly any third-party support.
They have one third-party game coming out that's going to be worth a crap, and that's Watch Dogs.
Bayonetta.
No, because Bayonetta didn't sell that well to begin with.
I
That's
didn't
why.
know that.
That's why.
It was a
they're-
great game.
It was a really good game. The problem is, it just didn't sell well.
Well, Watch Dogs. But do you think? I mean,
But
the
it's
thing
still not
about
even
Watch
coming-
Dogs, though,
Watch Dogs on the Wii U still not even coming out on the day all the other consoles get it.
Yeah.
It just says later this year.
and the thing about it
True.
though, with the Wii U and Watch Dogs though, is that's not going to be a system seller. They need something that's a system
No,
seller.
because it's not on the other ones. So though it would be, I feel
If
it would
you-
be a little bit interesting on the Wii U with the gamepad being able to
I think-
control.
The
Yeah,
game
but it's not going to be a
No,
system
no, not at all.
seller. People aren't going to go out and go, what does it look like on the pad? They're not going to go out and buy a system just to see.
No,
I would rent it just to do a comparison. Not just
I
not
think-
the graphics,
I
because
think
you know
what-
the graphics are going to be a big difference, but the gameplay itself could be really freaking cool on the Wii U.
I think what will
It
help
will.
sell it is Mario Kart coming out.
Mario Kart is
I think
going to be a
Mario
Mario
big
Kart,
news.
we've got Mario Golf coming out.
You got Smash Brothers.
A Zelda
Smash Brothers.
or a Metroid for it.
Yeah, but then if you look at the sales numbers of how many people actually buy Zelda games for their Nintendo consoles and Metroid games,
I know
It'd be
Mario
really low.
Kart
Yeah,
is like
when
the
was
highest
last time they
selling
put
game.
out a Metroid? When was the last time they put out a new Zelda?
the
I
last
know.
new
Skyward
Sword,
Sword.
Skyward Sword was the last one, and that was 2000.
Nine?
No, it was new. It was new.
No,
I
it was
want to say it was
2010. 2000.
It was
I
toward
wanna
the
say probably
end of the Wii's
2011, somewhere around in there.
It's towards the ends of the Wii's life,
Yeah,
really.
and I mean
That
on
was the
console
day it came
anyway.
out.
no.
No,
The Wii was aborted when it was announced.
Red Steel.
No.
Red Steel 2 is actually better.
It was actually
Well, but that was
better.
the problem, though, is that they ruined it with the first one. And everyone's like, this game is fundamentally broken. We
Yes.
can't play it. Why the hell am I even bothered with the second
On the
one?
Wii U, though, I do want to play, even though I heard it's not that great of a game, I do want to play
Yes.
Zombie U.
Zombie U.
I watched some trailers for it the other day, and it looks really interesting how you interact.
Yeah,
Stuff
I
like
really want to
that.
play that.
But Nintendo needs to do what Nintendo does. They need to do Mario. They need to do Donkey Kong.
Well, that sounds like their slogan.
But they
or
need
maybe
to,
Sega's
they
slogan.
need to do what made them big. They
Sega
need to
does
make
what
those-
Nintendo
Well,
don't.
I think
Sega does
Nothing now.
exactly.
I think the biggest thing
Alien
with them,
Isolation.
it's true. I think the biggest thing right now with Nintendo is that they're more focused on their mobile division. They're with the handheld,
I think
the
so, too.
3DS, the 2DS, way more focused on that because it sells way more units
But the Wii
than
U
the Wii U
could.
does. The
If-
Wii U, it could,
If they
but like
focused on it.
I don't know.
They need to get more third-party support, and they need to get those first-party games out.
It's
They
just the
need-
problem is they've never done.
They
that.
need to
Right?
take.
They need to.
They've never done that in Nintendo's history.
They
have
need to
never
do that.
had.
They
And
need to
so that's the
focus on
problem.
it.
They
Until,
need to take.
like,
They
and-
need to take a page out of Sony and Microsoft's handbook, straight up. Say Ubisoft, whoever. Here is a shit ton of cash.
I think. Well, here's.
You make me a game, and you make me a game that's just going to blow people away. Or you're making this game.
Or a game that blows people. I don't know.
Repad
Seaman.
plus mouse.
Seaman. The real Seaman.
Yes.
I
Seaman.
still have that for my joystick.
You injected into the
The
pad.
little
You still got the
microphone.
microphone around? Man, I used to get
That
off
game
work,
was
come home.
so freaking
There was
weird. Man.
okay. There was a really funny
Did you ever
article.
get it fully developed where he was released?
I didn't have the game, but my buddy did. I used to go there and play it all the time.
You can abuse them, like flick them.
Yeah, we
And
used to
that-
play it all the
no,
time.
there
It
was-
fucking great.
There was this article. I can't remember which gaming magazine it was in. I want to say maybe EGM, or it was probably one of the Sony ones, one of the Sega ones. But they were in it. I never tried this, so I didn't know if it was real or not. But they were basically saying that if you were extremely abusive to him, if you did it long enough, eventually his face would turn into Eminem's face. Marshall Mathers,
I don't think Marshall Mathers was around at that time.
No, he was. He was like that was back when he was just getting big. Was then and like it was that's why and there was a picture of it too in the magazine like of his.
I wouldn't
face.
abuse
I'm like,
him.
I don't
I
know
wouldn't
what that
abuse
is.
him until he turned into.
But that'd been hilarious.
That would have been
That'd been really funny.
I remember,
It'd been better if it had turned into
one
a
of the
Kardashian.
greatest things I remember was with the N64, where where you could on Super Mario or on Mario 64, where you could take the cursor and grab his nose and his mouth and like, stretch it out and stuff.
Oh yeah. You can't do that anymore. You have to hold down the Z trigger.
Yeah, and then you
and
stretch it out.
You can stretch
That was the greatest
like,
thing ever, man.
Yeah, you could mess with his face.
And then when the
that.
Rumble Pack came out, man, oh man.
I had a
Rumble Pack and GoldenEye, boy.
I had a third-party Rumble Pack once. It was called the Trimmer Pack. I don't know if you ever had one.
Based
of
off the
these,
movie?
yes, graboids came out of it and ate little Asian people.
Yes. Oh, and
I
Kevin
did that
Bacon
on my
was
last
there.
vacation.
Yeah, so the Trimmer Pack, it had two different settings, like the normal Rumble, like the Nintendo one would, and then like the Trimmer setting. I believe that's what it was called. But you could turn it on that, and one time, I can't remember the game that I was playing, but like it was rumbling so intensely, it just came out.
The same thing
like,
happened.
what the
The same thing happened to me a few years ago. I was getting. Never mind.
And, the Rumble
And then it
was so
just came
intense.
out.
It just came
I
out.
was getting vibrated to death.
Alright, so let's move on to...
Nintendo's boned if they don't pull their heads out of their ass.
Yeah.
I think though
They can have all the billions they want. But
Where-
if they don't start making it back, then they're screwed.
they did. I can't remember the name of the article. It was a couple months ago. I'm sure you guys probably saw it, but they basically did the thing where they looked at how much money Nintendo has and how much money they would have to lose every month, and if they were or not every month, but every year. But if they kept losing the same amount of money that they lost last year, they wouldn't be out of money for 25 years.
Yeah.
Right,
So
yeah,
I mean,
saw
like
that
that's
article.
substantial.
Oh
And,
yeah,
like,
they got $10
so
more than Jesus.
it's not. It's they're
Yeah,
not
but
hurting.
It's
but
one thing
what
to
I
keep with
think-
principles and lose a bunch of money just to keep their pride.
Right.
But it's another thing to
Well,
make
but also
profit.
too, look
in
at it
your
how
business.
they've always been like this. And so if they go the route of the PlayStation, the Xbox, where they keep getting these big AAA titles from third-party developers, there's really nothing that sets it apart from everyone else.
Yeah,
But I think maybe that's what they're trying to go for, is that we want to be different.
They're the everybody.
And-
that's fine if they want to be different. The problem I see is if they keep losing that profit, every time if they keep going down the same road with every alliteration of a new Nintendo system,
Yeah.
they're going to keep losing profit.
Because
So
they're
even though it's
gonna-
going to take 25 years for them to lose all their profit, they're just going to continually lose
they're gonna
profit.
kill. They're gonna kill off.
They're
the
basically
people
going to kill
that-
themselves off eventually.
Because they keep pushing.
Unless
away
they change.
people
They
that
need
enjoy
to
it.
change themselves. They don't have to go
They don't have to put their
full
Mario on the damn
Sony,
cell
full
They-
Xbox.
They need to
But
make
they need to come up with some sort of
They
solution.
just need to bring back the N64.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just what needs
Bring
to happen.
that
Just
motherfucker
bring the N64 back.
Bring
Any-
back, put it out as the N60 or whatever.
It doesn't use discs. It's on cartridges again,
Wait,
and
okay,
like it can even
64.
look just like 64 graphics. I don't
No,
care.
the
I just
N64.
want new N64.
the N64. The 64 was based off the RAM, right? Or was it the processor?
the video memory.
Yeah.
There was 64 megabytes of 64 bits.
64.
Okay,
yeah.
so they can call it
64-bit
the Nintendo 5 gigabyte
I don't know what they'd be considered now, but I
or
mean
6 gigabyte or 8 gigabyte. Or
I
whatever.
know that the PS2
The 128.
was it 128?
So,
The Xbox was 256.
yes,
I'm
it
pretty
was
sure.
256 because I remember the very first commercial I saw.
And it had a 700
They
megahertz
were
processor in it, where the PS2 had a 333 megahertz.
You know what they need to make? They need to come back with
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
I still have mine, so
I love the Dreamcast. That was the best
you still
system,
have mine.
bar none.
Oh yeah, the
That's-
controller.
see,
the,
like,
even,
mine-
even
mine's
the
a-
memory.
Mine's
was
a toss-up between that,
And
between
the
the
Super
Dreamcast
Nintendo.
and the N64. I never owned a Super Nintendo.
Oh,
my
boy.
my neighbor had one, and I had the Sega Genesis. And so, like, we'd go back and forth. And
That's
play
how
that
my
way.
cousin was.
And
My
then-
cousin had the Sega Genesis.
And then the original PlayStation came out, and then the N64 came out. I got the N64, and my neighbor got the PlayStation. So I never had
both.
the PlayStation until I think like a year and a half before the PS2 came out, and then I got one of the tiny little PS1s.
Yeah.
And then I went through and played a whole shitload of like the Final Fantasies and things like that. And, Armored Core, got really big in Armored Core. I love those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course the PS2 came out. I can't remember. Did the Dreamcast come out before the PS2?
Oh,
I think it was like 6
It
months
came
maybe
out-
before the PS2 came out.
it
was
came
like
out.
this-
It came out what? Was that my door?
I don't like it.
It came out like 2 weeks after.
Interesting. Um,
You're a little early, babe.
Well, I speed, so I don't hear that.
throttle.
I haven't stopped.
Yeah, you're in the camera.
Oh,
That's just never my bitches.
you guys are retarded. I can't believe you do this.
Yeah, we're still recording, so.
Yeah, we're still recording.
Still recording.
Don't mind her; she's here for math.
We are in Springfield.
And I just caused you not to get laid tonight.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, Nintendo's dead. Let's go to the next subject.
Yeah, let's go.
We've been on that same subject for quite some
Let's
time.
go to the next subject.
We're at 22 minutes.
22 minutes of talking about Nintendo's Day.
That's funny. That's more than Nintendo's been played.
Boom boom. So let's talk about fanboy wars. That's our next topic.
And I have the cure for it. Shut the fuck up.
I feel like it's died down a little bit.
It has died down a little bit.
No,
Since the
it
console
hasn't.
release.
Every time an article comes out, Sony laid off somebody, Microsoft laid off somebody, this game runs at this rate. Oh my God, everybody bitches and whines. My system's better than yours. My system gave me a handy J. You know, and it's just stupid. Play what you want, like what you want.
Play what you like.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. Is whatever you enjoy. I mean, if anything, get all the systems. If you can afford it, get everything.
And if you can't afford it, sell
And
your
if you
system
can't
shit.
afford it, get whatever your friends are playing. If all your friends own a PlayStation, get a PlayStation. So that way you can play with all of them. If they all own an Xbox One, get an Xbox One. So that way you can play with all your friends.
And if you don't have any friends, just buy a PS4 because it's better.
And if you don't have any,
That's what all the lonely people play.
and if you have a PlayStation, if you don't have any friends, buy a PC because that's the better one.
Yeah, that's true.
You can play games and look
Though
at
what's
porn.
funny about that is that if you're giving them that advice, they're going to go buy a PC, which the total price of a gaming PC would be equivalent to buying all three of the consoles.
No. You can
Yeah.
build a good, you can have a good quality PC built that'll play pretty much anything out there for $600 to $700.
See, I
What?
can't do that.
I'm fine.
I can't. Like every time I go to build a
You want to go
computer,
over and sit there?
$1,500 is usually my minimum that I spend.
Mine will run pretty much anything out right now. And
But-
$650?
What?
I wasn't listening.
Your PC? Yeah, we spend about $650 on it.
Yeah.
How much was yours?
I spend about the same. Well, not now.
Well, no,
I
you
bought the
have
graphics
graphics
card.
card.
I bought
It
the
was half that.
GTX 770, which is about almost $400.
They're like $363.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my last computer that I built, I ended up selling it for DJing equipment, but I spent $2,400 on it. And I have this problem that when I buy anything tech, if there is something that's more expensive and faster and better, my mentality is if I'm spending the money towards this one, why not put that money towards the one that's better? Because, it's better and it'll last longer.
My philosophy is
And-
if it does exactly what I need and I can still feed the children, I'm okay with that.
I don't have any children to feed, so that's
Well,
That
just
was a
got
bit-
that life support I'm working on.
Yeah, no, I that computer is a little bit ridiculous. I mean, this was almost 4 years ago I built that, so it had 16
And now
gigs
you
of RAM
couldn't,
4
now you
years ago.
couldn't sell any of that shit for $200.
No, I don't own it anymore. I sold it. I sold it a
Fair
month after I bought it and put it together. Well, I bought DJing equipment, which was way more of a better decision to do than
When I was
having a
working with Steven, he would always buy something every week. It was a new adventure.
ridiculously expensive
He
shit.
was like, I bought this, and it cost me this much. I'm like, yeah, I wish I could do that.
I bought a Wii U and some meth. Had to make it fun
I
somehow.
remember the first 3 or 4 months that I worked at Teletech, I bought a whole new surround sound system because the surround sound that I had was from when I was 12. It was like $300.
12 watts.
$12. Or no, not $12. 12.
$12.
It was $12. I was 12 years old.
And I spent $1
I was 12 years old.
for each
And
year.
it was
born.
Iowa. It was like it had three disc CD changer.
Yeah,
tape
I
decks
used
or whatever.
to
It was
have
like,
Iowa.
it had, but it was surround sound, and it had an optical
Receiver.
port on it, which was awesome because back then, that's when the Xbox and PS2 was coming out. They had optical connections on there. So I've had surround sound since I was 12, but I had that all the way up until I started working at Teletech, and then I was like, I need to upgrade this because this is ridiculous. This is pathetic. It sounds like garbage right now.
Nothing good ever came out
And-
of Iowa. The
Well,
radio or
what's
the
funny is
state.
it still works to this day, and it really doesn't sound bad.
Yeah.
It could sound better. And so the first 3 or 4 months I spent $3,500 on surround sound to replace that with. And I don't have that right now. And
Mine in there is 800 watts. So Sony.
yeah.
I know it's a Sony, but it still works. Had it for years. And it sounds great.
See,
I didn't pay near that much.
the problem is the
And I had pissed
receiver
off
that
the neighbors.
the receiver that I had bought. This is a ridiculous story. The receiver that I bought was a Pioneer Elite. It was $1,800. Gorgeous receiver. Weighed 46 pounds. Absolutely amazing thing. Though the biggest problem with it is you had it on for any longer than an hour, and just the whole room would be so epically hot. Just because it was just billowing heat out of the top of it. Because it got so hot. And so much shit in it. But anyway, I had it I bought it through a company online, and it came with a year factory warranty, and they covered it for 2 years, so an extra year after it. And a couple of months after that first year was over, the optical ports on the back slowly started dying. So all 5 of them just didn't work. And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, what? You spent this much money on the receiver. Why that? Anyway, so
You bought that when we were at Teletech.
I did.
I remember you telling me this.
I did. And I sent it in. I called the people because it was after the year was up, so I couldn't, get a warranty through Pioneer.
Yeah.
So I called the people that I bought it through, and they were like, "Okay, well, you just send it to us.
Keep telling
We'll pay to fix it." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." They're like, "We'll pay to send it back, of course, but you have to pay to ship it." But 46-pound receiver, it was $65 to ship the damn thing. And they had it for a month, maybe a month and a half goes by, and I'm calling them. I'm like, what's going on? How is this taking this long for you to fix this? They're like, oh, well, it shouldn't be that much longer. They've had it for a while, and blah, 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 blah. Almost 3 months goes by.
Jesus
I
Christ.
still don't have it back yet. And then, I'm calling them almost every day at this point, and they keep feeding me the same bullshit. And at one point, I call them, and their phone number's disconnected.
Oh, yeah.
Just disconnected. And then, I looked them up online. Their website's gone. I looked them up, Better Business Bureau and all this other shit. They've just been deleted. They're just not there. I Google Map their address. like look at a satellite picture.
It sent you where they
They're
buried
not-
all the ET.
They just weren't there. They just weren't there.
We were,
And so they were just completely gone. And then so I spent $1,800 on a home audio receiver. Then I paid the people I bought it from
To take it
essentially
back.
to steal it from me.
You know what they did? They called it a Daewoo, remarked it, and sold it out.
But now I have a Sony receiver, and it's not bad. I mean, like it's nowhere near as doesn't sound anywhere near as good as that Pioneer one did.
No.
But what cost the rest of the money was the speakers that I bought for all those, like the towers. And
love it.
I have the left and right speakers are the Bose 701 towers, which is the last model of tower speaker that they ever made. They don't make tower speakers anymore. And so they're, I mean, like this big, and they've got, each one's got a built-in 8-inch, 150-watt powered sub. So I've got 2 subs. But then I've got that and the Bose, the 161, I think it is their center channel, which is that big
The long
son
bar.
of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that for the center, and then the back speakers are the 301s, which is what replaced their bookshelf, or their bookshelf speakers, but that's what replaced the towers. Yeah.
I'm back.
So anyway,
It's about damn time.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
son of a
Anyways, we were talking about fanboys where somebody had to go pee. Did you let the
Then
little
you
guy
can talk
go?
to his fanboy.
That's yeah. The one that likes me the most. Yeah, I mean, basically, that's all it comes down to when it comes to fanboy. I mean, it's all just, this is that, that is this, and it
Well,
really
there's brand loyalties and stuff like that for people, and like I buy specific brands that I've used most of my life when I go to buy something new, just because like.
Yeah,
when
but
you-
the thing about it
But
is
you don't
if someone
shit
else,
somebody for
No,
buying another
no,
brand.
not at
if
all. I
someone
mean,
else buys something else, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
If you go out and buy a PlayStation, you're a PlayStation, guy, and
Yeah.
you want to buy a PlayStation 4, if someone says, I own an Xbox One, you're going to say, well, you suck. Your life sucks and everything.
Well, yeah,
sucks.
no, you just don't. I mean, but then again,
No.
like I've always been the person that will have all of the systems because there's going to be those exclusives
Because you don't
that
have
I
a
just
wife
can't.
and kids to take all that
I-
extra money.
Right?
But basically, what it comes down to is just buy what you like.
And quit bitching at
Buy
people
what you
for
like, and if you want to play with your friends, buy what your friends are playing. If they're all buying an
If
Xbox
you have
One,
no friends,
buy an
just
Xbox
continue
One.
to play with yourself.
If you're buying it, if they're all playing PS4, buy it.
No, it's true, and like that right now, I'm still, up in the air on which system I'm going to buy Watch Dogs and Destiny for, because right now,
Watch Dogs, I would
Most likely I'm
consider
gonna buy
more
Watch
of
Dogs on
PlayStation
PlayStation.
4 because it's basically a single player.
that and
But
a guy from
Destiny-
Ubisoft came out and was just like, it's right now running substantially better, like resolution-wise, on the PlayStation than it is on the Xbox. And they're also doing really interesting thing with the touchpad and how you control the smartphone.
Yeah.
And so that's neat. I feel like the touchpad I was afraid is going to be like a big gimmick. I'm sure some games will probably be really gimmicky, right? Exactly. The Wiimote. That's what I was afraid, but it's just enough of something new in a traditional controller
even the Wiimote
that makes it fresh when you play a game. It just makes it a little bit different. And
Yeah,
that,
Grand Theft Auto, you run your thumb across it and make the whore tinkle.
So I just loved how they used it in Infamous. I really liked it.
But Watch Dogs, I would
Destiny-
definitely consider more for the PS4.
Destiny is
but
going to-
Destiny is online.
Yeah, I mean, like, if
Microsoft has the online structure.
you guys most likely are going to have it for the Xbox, I would imagine, unless you're getting it for PC.
No,
No,
I already
I'll kill
pre-ordered for Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd go.
I pre-ordered it a long time ago.
That's
Mainly so I can get in the
I'm
beta.
most likely going to get it. Yeah, and well, I mean, the PlayStation gets their beta first.
Right, but
I still think is really funny is that for every ad, you don't really see that it's coming out on the Xbox. It's just PS4.
Well, that's because
Sony's paying out the ad.
pushing their
What's-
shit
Well,
real hard.
you just have to think though, like, did Bungie just really hate Microsoft? Because
I know.
So
You
Sony
think
just
that-
approached them with a big check, and they were just like,
Well,
That-
it would be- it would be
Sony pulled a Microsoft
look at this
and
number.
said, "Here you go.
Yeah.
Just
It
fill
was
out what
really
you want."
It was really smart for Sony to do that. It was really stupid for Microsoft not to. Because think about it.
Well,
Regardless if Bungie
I
goes
just
third
think
party,
Bungie didn't want to sign some kind of contract or something
Well,
with Microsoft.
they didn't have to sign a contract with Microsoft, but
they could.
I'm sure
but
they
they,
had.
but they could have done the same thing that Sony did. And the thing about it is it
I'm
would have
sure
been
they
smart
had to have signed some kind of
for,
contract
for
They-
Microsoft
to
to
accept
do that.
that money. From
Sony has to make smart business decisions. They are hurting so bad.
Well, and that's the thing. They are doing everything right this generation.
They have started off amazingly strong, but the problem is I'm trying to figure out where this money's coming from. For what they
Well,
what
for them
they
to
what
keep
they
it-
make per console, the way the entire
Well, I
Sony
mean,
structure is going.
the Xbox doesn't make very much money per console either. But then again, they have so many other, revenue streams coming.
Yeah, but the more games
It
have been
doesn't
sold on
have
the Xbox than they have it on the PlayStation 4.
Is their attach rate a lot higher?
Yeah, it's like was it like 4-1, 3-1, something like that?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the attach rate was for the PlayStation.
Well,
I know,
at launch, I know it was 3-1,
yeah,
and
I know that the
Well, there's
last
only like 2 games.
the last
Yeah.
the last numbers that I saw for the PlayStation was just for Killzone and like the attach rate of Killzone to PS4s, and it was this was when it was 6 million consoles sold, which is obviously a lot more than that now.
yeah, they're probably sitting closer to 8 now.
Yeah, I would imagine so. But at that, it was 2 million Killzone copies. So I mean that.
But you got to remember that how many of those were bundles because they did have to kill some of them.
They did, but I mean, like that means a third of people that are buying Killzone with it, which was a good game and was the only Killzone game I actually finished
But
because I can't stand first-person shooters on the other PlayStation controllers.
Yeah.
Now I can actually bear them. Not really bear them. I have fun.
It's not. It's such a better controller, but it's still going to get hard to get used to that even stick. I like
You get
the
used to
stick.
it. You get used to it, and like and that's what's weird for me to even sit here and say that because I've been such a die-hard Xbox person since the original Xbox came out. Like I even love that massive controller,
Oh, the big.
the
fat
original
boy.
where you could like
fat
kill
Xbox.
somebody with. You hit them in the head.
Oh, yeah.
I even loved that thing, and so it's just weird sitting here and saying like I really love the PS4 controller. Like, it just
PlayStation
feels
did
good
it
in
right
my
with
hand.
that controller this
And-
time. Except, the only thing I would like to see Sony do with that damn controller is if they won't offset the sticks, get rid of the fucking light. I was so annoyed by
the
that
reason-
damn light.
The reason
Just
why
by
that's
the units
there,
that I did.
the reason why that's there is because
They want you to buy the damn camera that we got stuck with.
Well,
on the Xbox.
the Move, the PlayStation Move, wasn't very successful, and they wanted to still implement that into their system and in the future of their business model and things like that, especially with Morpheus coming out now,
yeah.
where it's going to rely on having the camera and PlayStation Move. Well, so that's Move basically in your controller, and so that's now the next patch, the next console patch that's supposed to come out this month, I think. It'll allow you to change the brightness level of that light.
They need to allow me to.
So
turn
that
it
way
off.
it's not super bright. They haven't said if they're going to let you turn it off or not, and I don't think they will, just because
They need to give you that damn option because that's just a battery drainer. I mean, it may not be.
it
taking
is. The battery
much.
life's garbage on that controller. It's
yeah.
like 6 hours, 7 hours maybe. It's bad. The first night that I got Infamous, I like kept playing so long that my controller died, and like I'm sitting there like fucking plugged in. And like my headphones that I had on, because I had the Pulse Elites, and those died too because they have the same battery life. And so like I'm like wired in my head and like wired, like I'm just like, God damn, I'm like over here, and, like playing and shit. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a trade in my Xbox for the PlayStation. So.
I think you should sell it.
And not have a gaming system in
Yeah.
that. I think that's a terrible idea.
Just sit there and collect the dust.
I'd play it.
Yeah, whatever.
If you had a PlayStation, you'd probably play it.
Yeah. See? Okay.
I wouldn't be opposed to you getting rid of it, personally, just because.
See?
I
See
want,
this guy.
but for a PlayStation, in return, just because like I want to play PlayStation games with people more. I mean, the only other person I know is Mike, and my friend Caleb has one, and that's it. Like I don't know anybody else. So
How's what?
PlayStation.
Yeah.
I was thinking about buying, getting rid of my Xbox One for PlayStation.
I'm telling you, you'll regret it.
Maybe.
I say you just regret it when Halo came out.
I'd say you regret
That's
it
me.
when Destiny came out. I'd say you regret it when the big online game came out.
Okay.
The big online.
I mean,
games. Destiny, Halo.
I mean, we do have Titanfall right now, which
Battlefield
Titanfall's good.
4.5.
I've just not been in a big mood for, competitive online shooter right now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I haven't played it in probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played it.
I'm-
I did
I love
check out the
game,
new Battlefield maps. Those are pretty neat.
My problem is Battlefield is just not run for shit the entire time.
It's gotten a lot better.
It's gotten better, but come on.
Oh, dude, I know.
And what really bothers me is they want
DICE
you,
has ruined their name.
what bothers me is that they want me to buy the expansions. They want me to buy the season pass. Why don't they give me some of that shit free for, basically wasting 2 months of my damn game time with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Some
Oh,
they give a gun.
Oh, a gun? Can I stick it in my mouth and
But you got a
just
gun?
finish myself and blow
I
that
thought
damn
they
gun?
gave you
Pistol?
a knife.
Where's the pistol?
No, got a gun. I got a SMG.
I don't
That's
know.
sexy.
You know what I'm talking about.
No, I got the SMG and I got the damn color scheme for it.
Free?
For free?
For free.
Dude,
Who's
what?
this? Who's
Say
this
what?
guy? Who's this guy? Yeah.
Alright.
No.
Well, we had some more stuff to talk about, but we had to actually end this episode, so
I think
we're out of time.
we never really get through all the topics.
We'll get to the other stuff. I mean,
Yes.
we're going to talk about the new Aliens game. Favorite game of the year. Let's go ahead and do favorite game of the year real quick. Favorite game of the year?
Final Fantasy VIII.
That's not
I
a good year.
restarted
This year.
It's not a good
Restarted
year.
playing it, love it.
It's got to have come out this year.
Oh, this year?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd say Max and Magic Marker. There
Uh,
ain't that many
Did that come out this year or was that December?
this year.
I thought it came out in December.
No, I'm pretty sure it was January. But it's a
Close enough.
they don't
Close
make
enough.
that many platformers anymore, and it was just a fun.
Nintendo does now. That's all they've been shitting out lately is
Yeah.
platformer left and right. Yeah.
Platformers.
Yeah,
Though 3D World, Super Mario 3D World looks really
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say Max and the Magic Marker is probably the one that really caught me off guard. I like the most, and I've played it several times, and it's only 4 hours long, 5. And that's just because I know how to do it all now. But Metal Gear Solid's worth $20, not 30.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the shit out of it.
Well, I mean, like, if you go through and you want all the achievements or the trophies, you spend the time with it to do that. You get your money's worth then. I mean,
Right.
like, I'm 2 trophies away, and I've got 8.5, 9 hours in it total.
Yeah, but
Which, I mean, that's not very good, but
no, but you're able to sit, and do that. People in my situation with children's, we don't get to sit and just milk it out.
yeah, that's true.
Sometimes we just got to bust right through it. Skip the scene, skip the scene, skip the scene, skip the scene some more. It's Metal Gear Solid.
What about you?
Infamous. I'm saying. Second Son, Infamous Second Son. I did not play the first 2 games, but fucking absolutely loved this one. I mean, from what I heard, the first 2 had better storyline. I mean, I don't know.
I enjoyed
them.
the
I would
first-
like to go
I
back and play
enjoyed
them.
those first 2, but I never beat anyone.
The storyline is in Second Son's a little, I wouldn't say predictable, but I mean it's been done before. But the progression that you go through the game and how you get your powers and how each power that you get next is better than the last one. It allows you to navigate the world in a quicker, faster way. Just the progression there and the gameplay is fucking phenomenal. Absolutely amazing. It's so fluid and just fun just to kill shit, run around and just it's a lot of fun. And on top of that, the game's gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. It's the first game that I've sat down and played and like that's next gen. Yeah, I mean Titanfall looks good. I can't sit there and say like this is next gen. I mean it's running on the 360. It's just not as pretty. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing with Titanfall is there's just so much going on. I really don't want to know what the 360 version was
From what they're saying, Monday it'll come out.
Yeah.
It comes out Monday.
Some people have already got it.
You've already got it. The servers aren't
But they
until Monday.
can't. They can't do shit.
The-
except maybe
From what the developer is saying, the press statement that they made yesterday was that they were like,
true experience.
it's the true experience as you get with the Xbox One, all the same maps and everything. It's just graphically not as nice.
I just don't know. Well, I'm sure they're running off the same servers and stuff, so that'd probably be all right. But,
Yeah, I'm sure turning down the graphics some and like the particle effects and shadows and shit like that would be able to help with all the craziness that's going on screen. And I'm sure it's also not going to be, I'm sure it'll be 6-on-6, real players.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
But
Yeah,
I doubt it'll have as much AI bots in it as
Yeah.
the Xbox One version.
you'll probably get maybe.
If they do,
4
then
to
they can
6,
pull it
but-
off. Then more power to them. But I don't think it'll.
But I don't think the AI would take. I don't think the AI would be near as.
It's just like if they were able to throttle back 4 or 5 bots per side, like that could free up so much more system memory from what's going on, because you don't have to. The AI is not running for those characters. The particle
Well,
effects
is it going to be
them.
running through the Azure cloud?
I don't know.
I have not heard that.
I don't know.
Whether running server side or console side.
Yeah, I'm sure some of
Oh,
it's
it's got to be server side.
I would imagine,
for the AI stuff.
Yeah.
On that end, but yeah. So if that's the case, then yeah, they probably could do that. But yeah.
My most favorite game this year.
Barbie and the Handsy Prince.
I haven't really played a lot of games that have come out this year, actually.
You played Titanfall. I know that. Did you play Thief?
No.
I played Thief. What else came out this year? South Park.
No,
A lot of people, from what I've heard, that's so far their
Yeah,
favorite
I've heard
game this
it's
year.
really
I
good.
haven't played it yet.
I want to
Well,
play
it's
it.
game of the month.
Yeah,
I'd
Game
say,
of the month last month,
besides
right?
saying Titanfall, because that's an easy one, I'd say that
But Titanfall overall is just a
my
fun
favorite
game.
game so
It is.
far
It is a lot of fun.
the year is probably Castlevania Lords of Shadows 2.
Yeah, I know it got really bad reviews. Like, across the board.
It's fun. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's
I think the reason why I didn't play the first Lords of Shadows. Hell,
No,
I
I
haven't played a
love the first
Castlevania game since Castlevania 64.
And I loved it. I don't care
but-
what the fuck anybody says. I love Castlevania 64.
I think what it had, I loved that game too. That game was phenomenal.
Mhm.
But I think the reason why it got such bad reviews is because they were comparing it to the first
Yes.
Lords of the Shadow,
right.
and
It's
from
nowhere near.
what I've heard, it's nowhere near on the same.
No,
level.
it's not on par with the first one.
No.
No.
Yeah, and so that's
it's hard to make something.
But it's still
so
good. I mean, if you're a big fan of Castlevania, which I am,
yeah.
then you'll enjoy it. You'll love
And
playing it.
then maybe Phantom Pain will read your save file. You remember this from the first Metal Gear Solid? Where what was his name? Oh god, Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis.
The boss fight. You remember
Yeah.
this? He reads your.
There's-
At one point, will read.
He reads
He reads your memory card, and we'll see that you've played Castlevania, and since they're both Konami games. Like
Yes.
he's like, so I see that you like Castlevania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you took the
And I was like,
controller,
that's awesome.
you take the controller and you plug it into port
Play it
2.
too, then you get read it.
But on Metal Gear Solid 3, I think it was 3 on the PS2,
Mhm.
you take your controller, you plug it in, you
Mm.
try it again when you're fighting Mantis. He says something like that trick won't work twice or something like that. I remember that. It was badass.
It's just
But that doesn't make any sense because the first one the third one
takes
the
place
first one.
before the first one.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it doesn't make any sense.
I know it.
He's
It's
Psycho Mantis.
it's Hideo. It's Hideo Kojima. for
Does
God's sake.
anything from Kojima make any sense at all?
Raiden or whatever.
Right.
Shit.
That don't
He
make
went
any
and joined the
sense.
Lalilulelo.
Yeah.
Lalilulelo.
Lalilulelo.
All right.
That's the
Metal Gear
password.
Rising.
Thank you all for watching.
It was a fun game, shithead. It was just not.
But it's
Metal
just
Gear.
not Metal Gear though,
It's
so
not.
don't put Metal Gear on there.
No,
Just
no.
you just called Raiden Rising.
No, because
That would be a porn.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look Raiden Rising up.
That's-
Let's see what you come up with on Google.
All right. Thanks you all for watching. PopCap. Neo Devastating. See you next time.